I'm Yaakov Shalom. We have a sitzchok. When we come at Avim Zayin, we're starting the two dots that we go in base. The Mishnah says, "Vechen paro shenokos ashor." If you have a paro that has a shor, said the Mishnah, the paro is pregnant, and you don't know if the fetus, if the baby was involved in the gicha, was born before or after. So the paro pays half a nezek, and the vlad pays a quarter of a nezek. Says the Gemara, "Chatzi nezek v'revi nezek." Why should it be half and a quarter? The whole amount that the Baal Ashur needs to receive is half a nezek. Why is he getting half of the whole nezek except a quarter, meaning 3/4? It means echod ma'arbo b'nezek. Chatzi nezek means a quarter. It's half of half. And then you have, what do you have over here? Once you have, like we said before, you have $10 that the vlad is worth, that the nizuk is worth. $5 goes to the par is responsible for that, and then for the 5 that's left, it's 2.5, 2.5. Says the more of the par of vlad dechanin, if they all belong to the same owner. If they both the same owners, of course, the owner has to be both because you have to be chatzinez anyway. Talk about the par is owned by one, vlad is owned by the other. Ask the Gemara another caveat. If he goes to Baal Par first and tells the Baal Par, I want you to pay me. He tells him, I don't know Chachmas. I know your cow for sure gored. You tell me you have a partner, you bring it right. It's clear, there's 80 that saw your par involved. One second, because we're according to Sukkos. There's no more tzachal right. We know for sure no question about the par was goy. Shiloh, was there anybody else involved in it? I don't know. But the kodim tavil about Vlad. We're talking about he went first to the Baal of Vlad. He says when the Baal Par tells to the Baal Ashur who got hurt, you revealed that you agreed that the baby was involved. Some say no. Even though he went to Valpor first, can tell him, listen, you know, I know that I have a shutaf. So why should I pay for the shutaf part? So I'm going to pay you half, and the other half go to him. Says the Gemara, you want to say it's half of half and a quarter of half, which means 2/8, an eighth. Chatzi nezek v'revi nezek. Doesn't say quarter and an eighth. It says half and a quarter. Talk about the paro and the vlad belong to the same person. If the paro is there, you pay half a nezek from the paro. Why? Because the paro is the part. They all belong to the same person. So the par is there. You know the par is involved. You can't say for the par. But if says the par is not there. Why? I'm not sure if the vlad was part of the negicha or not. If it was part of the negicha, so yeah, you can go and demand money from him as well. But because you could be tiveya from any one of the shrine. So I know that he was involved. If I don't know he was involved, I have to pay half. Because we don't know you have a vlad be'ado, we're not sure the vlad was part of it or not. If we know for sure that the vlad was there, so then you do take it from the vlad. Why take it from the vlad? The vlad is only a partner. Right? That's the obvious question. If you have a paro who's mazik, you can take the money from the vlad. My time, gufahi, it's part of the body. You can take, when you have one paro who's mazik, you can be goy with the nizik from any part of her body. You can be goy from the hand, from the leg, from the head, from the fetus. Any part of the body you can be goy from. And then you can take the entire nizik from that part. Something more now. If you have a chicken, a rooster who's mazik, you don't take it from the egg. My tell you, the egg is not part of the chicken. It's completely separated. So, but the baby, the vlad, is part of the animal. Says the Gemara of Omarov, another thing. This Omarov here is not speaking about the same case that the paro and the vlad are mazik. We're talking about that the paro with the vlad were nizoik, they were damaged. Ain't showing the paro fiatzo, the vlad fiatzo. You don't go and say, okay, how much is the paro worth? How much is the vlad worth? That's what you're going to pay. You value the vlad based on the paro. So let's say you have a cow was worth 100. If she's pregnant, she's worth 120. So what is the vlad worth? 20. Even though you can buy a vlad, you can buy a baby calf in the market for 50. But I do it as part of the part. Means that the makish to mazik. If you don't say that, the mazik will have to pay more. It says more similarly, when a person cuts the hand of a slave, what do you pay? You don't pay a hand. Which way hand? Rashi says, hand means how much a person will be willing to take in order to cut his hand. You go to a person and say, if I cut you, what are you willing to take in order to cut your hand? There's some price a person is willing to get. $1 million, $2 million, $7 million. Some money say, you know what? Cut my hand. But if his hand is already cut, in other words, if you value, what's the difference between a slave who has a hand and a slave who does not have a hand? The difference is much more smaller. So that's how you do the shuma. The shuma between the two. This we're going to learn also to come on. If the person is mazik, if the animal is mazik the sod, she goes and eats the field. I don't come and say how much fruit she ate. You say how much is the entire field worth with the fruits, and without the fruits, which is much less. You do a valuation, agav the big thing. If that's the din, we say I don't want the mazik to lose, so therefore, because I don't want the mazik to lose, I tell you to make a valuation which is more favorable for him. But if the din is for him to lose, likchosh mazik, what do you care? He needs to pay. You know what? It's not just I want to be makel on the mazik. It's more than that. The mazik says, you know when my ox gored a pregnant paro? That's what I gored. It gored a pregnant paro. It did not gore a paro and a baby. So I looked at this as one big animal. So I'll pay you one big animal. Says the more now, just to conclude this sugya, even though it's not so connected, but pshita, par dechad vlad chad. If the par belongs to one, and the baby, the fetus belongs to one, pitmo leba par. What's the pitmo? The pitmo means the fact that she looks fatter, right? A par, the fatter she is, the more she's valued. So I see a par who is pregnant. She looks fatter, she looks healthier. You get more money for it. That goes to the owner of the par. Nafchomai. Nafcho is the actual the valuation that she has based on her measurement. Not that she looks fatter. They measure. Someone would say you measure the cow, and if she's 7 feet, she's worth more than 6 feet. So that's extra width. But that width is taking into account the baby. This still goes to Bava. We divide into two. Why divide into two? Because what makes the paro fatter is her baby. The baby makes it fatter. So divide into two. That's what it says over here. So with this, we conclude this part of the Mishnah. Again, going back to what we said before. What did the Gemara say? More about two options, just to go back to how we started off. When you have a paro and a vlad that are negeach, so the two options, either the paro and the vlad belong each one to somebody else, and the paro pays half of half, and the baby pays a quarter, pays a quarter of the half. Not a half of half, a quarter of half. Now, Now, Shuli asked, why does he lose 1/4? So the Baal Para tells the shore, I'm not going to pay more than half because I have a partner. I know I'm borrowing to have a partner, I'm paying more. The Baal Vlad says, I don't know, I'll pay only half of it. And he loses half. That's how he learns. So in other words, there is some way to chaver of a rayo, even according to Suchos. The Baal Para says, I'm positive that I know that I have a partner. to understand the boy kicks into play now.
Say positive. It's a mitzias nekazach. So you can say you're positive from now to
But that, according to Sukkos, also we have a difference in Bori Sheva and Shori Bori, as we learned yesterday's daf. There's a difference. It's Toys prevention. Okay, but it's a good point. Sukkos agrees with Bori and Bori. What happens in the case is Bori Sheva? Something to think about. Let's leave it as a question. The second answer of the Gemara is talking about the same owner, but the question is who's here? Is the Parah here or the Vlad here? If the Parah is here, you take the whole thing. If the Vlad is here, the Vlad I'm not sure was participating, so you take only half of half. Zog the Mishnah. So you have a potter, a person who does pottery, he has jugs, and he put it into the Chatzar Ba'abayis without permission. And the cow Ba'abayis broke it. Potter. Why is he potter? Because he put in Shlomo B'Shus. V'im Uska Be'em Ba'agdir is Chayiv. And then Uska the Ba'agdir has to pay. V'im Yichnis B'Shus. But if he did B'Shus, Ba'achotz Chayiv. Ba'achotz is to pay for the fact that she got hurt. Yichnis B'Shus the Chatzar Ba'abayis Shlomo B'Shus. That was Gederos. What about fruits? Similar to Lach. V'achodam B'Shus Ba'abayis, she ate it, potter. If he got hurt, what do you put in the fruits into Ba'achotz? A third case, very similar. He put his axe in the Chatzar Ba'abayis. The Shabbayis heard it, or the dog Abayis bit it. Potter. Why? What are you doing here? He's the one who gored. Chayav. Not for the boy if it fell into the pit and it caused the water to get spoiled, chayav. He killed somebody, has to be kaifer. We'll see later in the Gemara what's the father, what's the son, what's exactly the case over here. And the chutz a short time doesn't pay kaifer. If he did b'shus ba'achotz chayav. Is not enough to tell him you could go in. He has to add another sentence. I am accepting of myself a shmir. Meaning, according to Rabbanon, if the owner of the chutzner told the guy, "Oh, come on in," that means I'm responsible. According to Rabbi, no. As long as I don't say the words "I am responsible," you can come in, but I'm not responsible. That's a machlokes Rabbanan and Rabbi. Tez already asked why you have to have all three cases. So Tez brings in the end of the Mizan and Aleph. If you would say only Gedeiros, I would say that B'Rishus Yechai because it's very easy to break. And Mustomi accepted the Shmir. Pear is not, but in pairs, let's say pear is easy to get ruined than a behemoth. So each one is a bigger chiddush to tell you that the owner is still responsible once he allowed it to come in. Says the Gemara. Taimo the sheloi b'rishus. This whole thing is because he did not allow him to come in. Ha b'rishus lo michar belagder is b'nizke behem to the balachotzer. You don't say that if the owner of the chotzer gave rishus to the owner of the pots to come in, the owner of the pots is not responsible if the pots hurt the animal of Bavais. You don't say kibule kobil bagdeus netiruso de bentori de balachot. You don't say that he accepted upon himself the shmiro of the behemoth of the balachot. You don't say, "Oh, Reuben comes to Shimon and says, 'Can I put my pots in the chutzner?' For sure. Now the behemoth could hurt. I'm so sorry." You don't say Reuben is responsible to make sure that his pots won't hurt any behemoth. So Mani Rebbe, so that's like the end of the Mishnah. The Rebbe said, if I didn't say clearly that I'm responsible, I'm not responsible. Then the Mishnah says, he did B'Shus, the B'Chotz is responsible. It means it's Kabbalah in the Tuesday, if you bestomach. Then comes Rebbe, the end of the Mishnah. So, do we say that a person is automatically responsible for what he does, or not? Rebbe says yes. Rebbe says no, and the Mishnah says in the beginning to say no, and the Mishnah in the middle says yes. Yes, the Vite split the Mishnah, beginning, middle, end. It's really changing. says the difference is between the owner of the chutzner and the owner of the gderos. The owner of the chutzner, or his place where the things are stored, when he says, come into my chutzner, he says, I am responsible for your gderos. I'm going to guard them. Even if they get damaged by a wind. Meaning I'm not guarding them only for my animals. I'm completely protective. I'm completely big shomer in them. I'm not going to allow anything to happen to them. That's the owner of the chutzner. The owner of the gderos don't. That's what it is. Right, Rashi says, it's then only the Baal Chotzer has that mindset. You're coming to me, you're putting my stuff in me, I'm guarding you. Not the one who gets permission to go in. Says the Moechis he puts his fruits. We have the other case. The animal slipped on the fruits. But if she ate the fruits and she got hurt, she got a stomachache, you don't have, the owner of the fruits doesn't have to pay. He tells him, why did she eat? She shouldn't have been eating. Rav said this when he was sleeping. A person puts poison in front of the behemoth of his friend. So then he doesn't have to pay. He's responsible. Some movies with the law of Dafka some movies because it's not normal for an animal to eat poison. She should know it's poison. But regular fruits that an animal is going to eat, is higher for me causing her damage. Why don't you say your svaro? She shouldn't have eaten. What did I feel the Paris 9 put them in the It's also fruits. Even samov is poison. Usually an animal doesn't eat, still chai b'din shamayim. So it will be the same thing by fruits, the same thing by poison. Talk about also fruits. Samov is not talking about something which is clear that it's poison. It looks like a regular fruit. It's exactly the same case like a fruit that she ate too much. Nothing here stops her from eating it. Do you say or not? And it says over here, you are butter. You say I don't respond she eats, it's like a guam. Yeah. I seduced her to eat, but it's hers, she ate. So Macy brings a question. She brings wheat to grind it in the chutzah. Comes the owner of the house's animal, eats it. But why? If you got hurt, cheves. You say the animal should have eaten. Tell the animal should not eat the wheat. Okay, but our Mishnah we said that you slipped. So there you slipped. Not she ate. So of the Kaila Michael, what was even the Avamina? It says you got hurt. You can say got hurt means she slipped. The Lashon over here in the Brisa by the wheat doesn't say Husko Behem. It says Husko. Husko Behem Asho with them. They went into their body. So we're talking about but Husko Behem Asho that she slipped in it. She slipped in them. But Husko means she ate it and that caused damage. That's what the Lashon said that she ate. The one answer, the Tarot said there's no difference, and I can explain over here as well that she slept. Prison put his shar into the Chatzah B'Abayis without permission. He ate wheat and he had a diarrhea. The mace, butter. If he gave him permission, why he should have eaten? Bring a question of B'Shus of the Baal Chatzer. B'Shus Shmir Shor Kibbutz Allah, but the B'Shus he got the Shmir of the Shor. About Filu Chonik is absolutely even if he choked itself. Meaning similar to what we said before. When the owner of a Chatzer, owner of a place says, "Come in," according to Rabbanan, he accepts Shmira not only for what he did wrong for it, but even if it's something happened which has nothing to do with Baal Bais, like I said before, Ruach or committed suicide. If the shor chomek is that's why choked itself, very interesting case. The shor went and chavak that's why still he's responsible because that's part of the shmir of the chutzah. That's different then the case is if a person puts his food into the behemoth, into the chutzner, or kalim, so Shimon puts the food or the kalim in Reuben's chutzner, he's not responsible. Not responsible if you ate. But in this case, the owner of the chutzner is the one who's saying the owner of the chutzner, if it's been tzvara, they keep the shmiras and zokov. That's it. Okay, we'll stop over here. Continue tomorrow. Be'ezer Hashem.